Hey, 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 it's Mr. Shante, and we getting ready to make some of that roast y'all be making with that ranch seasoning and the pepperoni peppers, okay? And I'm gonna put my own little twist on it, my own little seasonings, okay? So we gonna get a non-stick skillet and put about a tablespoon of butter in there, and we're gonna season one side and put season side down. And I used all the seasons that you saw in the beginning of the video except for the herbs, the rosemary, thyme, and the bay leaf. I'm saving that for the homemade gravy. And then we season the other side while the first side is searing with some of that garlic herb seasoning, garlic powder, onion powder. So we just want to get a nice good brown on each side. I have two nice ground chuck roasts. And then we're going to turn it. I love this non-stick skillet. I just bought it yesterday and it has been the truth. I'm very satisfied, very happy about this non-stick skillet. So we got the first one seared on both sides, and then we did the second one, seasoned really good on both sides. The thing about roast is you want to season it really good with your herbs and your garlic and all of that stuff. It's because you're going to be making a gravy and all that. So, and it makes its own grease and everything. So we're going to take the little... we're going to call it giblets from the meat. And we're going to add a tablespoon of butter. And I chopped up some fresh garlic. So we add that in the pot and get that a nice shake. Get a nice little shake down, okay? Add another tablespoon of butter. And I added 2 bay leaves. One big one, one small one. And it started smelling really good. Nice and aromatic. Had the house smelling really good. So once you see the garlic get nice and fried, we're going to put in a 1/2 cup of flour. And we're going to stir that around, get it nice and incorporated until you don't see any whites, any clumps anymore. And this is going to be the base for our gravy. And I usually use the packets of gravy, y'all. But for this, I'm like, I got to do the homemade gravy, okay? And I like to do mine with butter because butter is always good in the roux because butter turns brown, especially for gravy. I find when I use like the grease, it doesn't get as dark as I like for my gravy to get. Maybe I'm not doing it right. But I added another 1/2 cup of flour because I want it to be nice and thick. But I didn't want to add all the flour at once. And I seasoned it real good with all the seasons in the beginning. And then I'm putting in some rosemary. And I put in some rosemary on the steaks as well. I put some extra seasoning on those. And I'm going to go in and sprinkle some thyme and put that on the roast as well. I don't call them steaks. And then I put in my other 1/2 cup of flour. So I put in a lot of flour because I want it to be thick because the roast is going to make its own juice. I put a pack of ranch seasoning on my roast. And I added water into my flour mixture that we had. See how nice and thick that is. And we're just going to let that cook. You have to let that flour cook or it's going to taste really floury, okay? So I let that cook, I believe, for a long time. And then here go my son. Look, and one hungry, he mad because he hungry always. And this one is just like, he happy that I'm making roast. He rubbing his stomach. Look, he just always in a state of pissed offness. I don't know. He always super happy. And then we got a little one down here just wondering what the hell is going on all the time. Look, hey, Duke, and Mama Dinky Duke. All right, so then I went in and put like a 1/2 cup of water over that ranch seasoning because I don't want it to be like powdery. I want it to incorporate really good. And we are still boiling this. And I went in and put some pepper, because what's gravy without the good old pepper, okay? So we get that nice. When I tell y'all, y'all want to cook that, y'all want to cook it, okay? You got a nice nonstick skillet. It's not going to burn. You put it on low to medium heat and let it just really, really cook, okay? I promise you it won't burn. And I just kept stirring it. Make sure it was all nice and incorporated. It is looking really good. Y'all see all that seasoning? Yes, 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 yes. It's looking really, really good. I'm so excited. Y'all excited? I'm excited, okay? So then we're going to go in and put a chicken bouillon cube in. Now, here y'all go. Oh, my gosh, they put a chicken bouillon cube in. It's supposed to be beef gravy. It's not chicken. It's not chicken. I don't give a fuck. You know why? Because this is my motherfucking recipe. You don't have to do it if you don't want to, okay? But that shit gonna be good. You understand what I'm saying? So how about you just stop being a negative Nancy and just try it, okay? And that's me. I found a cube in the gravy, and I'm just swishing around to make sure that it gets incorporated really good. Because I'm just like super anal like that. But whatever. I think I got OCD, y'all. I really do. But oh well, my house stay clean. My kids stay clean. So, fuck y'all. Anyway. So you see that? You see that nonstick skillet, y'all? It's giving what it's supposed to give. Doing what the fuck it's supposed to do. Period. On period. Okay. And then I turned that off. And then we gonna pour that over that nice roast. Look at that. Yes, 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 yes. And we keep in mind, I know y'all said, oh my God, her gravy's so thick. It's thick. Oh my God. It's supposed to be thick. Because like I said, the roast is gonna make its own juices, okay? And you want it to be able to incorporate with the juices and still be a nice thick, nice consistent gravy. So then I put about maybe 7 peppercini peppers in there, and I stuck them down in the gravy. And then I put about a cap full of lemon in it, okay? Also, what I did miss, I didn't tell y'all, so we're gonna cover that, put it in the oven. Look at Dink. I gotta move him out the way so he don't get burnt by the oven. He's just always on my hip, okay? But I put a little A1 sauce on the roast, and I put some Worcestershire, Worcestershire, whatever hell you call that sauce on there. And then I had to put my chop my celery and put it in there because I almost forgot about it. Celery takes so long to get soft, y'all. Y'all got to put it in when y'all very first put the roast in, okay? So it cooks down nice and even. And that's perfect. And I chose to do celery this time. I didn't do onion or bell pepper this time, because Lord knows I will onion and bell pepper a motherfucking roast, a steak, or whatever to death. But this time I chose not to do that because I did the peppercini peppers and the celery. So I felt like that was good, and I had enough seasoning and all that stuff. Did onion powder and all that. So then I chopped up some golden potatoes, some nice yellow potatoes. I cut them kind of thin. They still a little bit, they got a nice little width to them, but I cut them thin because I wanted them to be able to cook really fast. They cook fast anyway, but I wanted them to cook really fast because these kids was hounding me. Y'all should have heard these kids. Y'all look, I took the sound out the background. But then I had the ruffle cut, like, carrots, and I mixed that in, seasoned them real good. Y'all see that? Y'all see that? It's getting tender. Oh, it's getting tender. Y'all should have smelled the house. The house smelled so motherfucking good when I tell you. The kids was circling like motherfucking scavengers, okay? You would have thought it was a dead body and some scavengers in my house the way they was hounding me. Oh, my God. So throw that on the top of there. Mix it up. Cover it up, put it in the oven. So then I decided to make these gremlins some apple pastries, right? Okay, cool. So I cut and cube my apples. Of course, we rinse them off. That does not have to be said, okay? So don't get out here to my, oh my gosh, she took them straight out the pack. I rinsed them off, okay? Don't start with me. So normally I just put them in some lemon juice, but I found that just putting them in some cold water keeps them from turning brown as well. So I didn't feel the need to like waste lemon juice. I do the lemon juice when I make like a full apple pie, but these are just the apple tarts. So, and then y'all see little baby behind me trying to get to the oven. So then we have cinnamon, nutmeg, dark brown sugar, and regular sugar. So we are going to cover the top of the apples with there's some sugar, some dark brown sugar. I did a 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg and a full teaspoon of cinnamon. Okay. Well, actually, maybe that's like 2 or 3 teaspoons of cinnamon. Maybe it's like 2 tablespoons of cinnamon. Yeah. And about a 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg. You don't need a lot of nutmeg. It is very strong. I am learning that. Well, I knew that about nutmeg. I just recently learned that about ginger. Ginger something else, baby. That motherfucker you clean some pipes with, okay? All right, so then I put just a little bit of water in it. And we're going to mix that around. And then I also put about a 1/2 cup of flour in it too. Was it 1/2 cup or 1/4 cup? I think it's maybe like a 1/4 cup of flour. Yeah, 1/4 cup, maybe 1/2 cup, whatever. Anyway, I put some flour in it and then I mixed it up. You see it's getting nice and thick, like some pie filling. That's the consistency we want to get. We want the apples to still be just a little crunchy. We want them to still be crunchy, y'all, because we getting ready to cook them for a nice little minute in these pastries, okay? Forgive me how these pastries look, because as I was doing this video, my son was doing too much, and he made me cut myself while I was opening up the pack of Pillsbury dough. So yeah, I was like bleeding everywhere for a little second. So I had to get that together. And then my finger was hurting so bad that I couldn't really, after I got the bleeding to stop, I couldn't really get the, shape together. At that point, honestly, I was just like, fuck it, y'all, for real. I was like, you know what, just roll this shit up. Because I really wanted it to look extra like pastry, like cute, but fuck all that. I cut myself and it's a weekday. These kids got to go to school and I got to go to work. So it is what the fuck it is. It's going to look worse when they chew that shit. So, and that's what they look like when they came out the oven. And then that was the roast. Oh my God. Look at that. Look at that. It is falling apart. And that gravy is just the perfect consistency. The potatoes are not overcooked. They're still nice and kind of firm, but soft enough to chew. Oh my God. Look at that. It was so fucking good. Listen, all you heard was smacking and slurping at the table. Do you hear me? They had seconds. And then my stepson asked me if he could take a pastry to school.